I'm making another new video here, again, specifically for the QuittingZyn subreddit board. And this one is about, I've been reading here now for several weeks, and it's interesting because I'm seeing people having a much harder time here quitting Zen than I ever did seeing people on in the same numbers on the quit smoking boards. And it's that they're having trouble for a longer time period, and in some ways they're having more intense problems. Now, there's a couple of factors which are variables here, which I think are making a difference. One of them I saw when I started dealing with electronic cigarette smokers who were showing up at the quit smoking board that we had. And this was before Juul. These were just when they were using, the larger electronic cigarettes. They weren't as convenient, but they were having a harder time quitting. They were having more, I don't want to say withdrawal, but they were having more struggles and emotional struggles. And you could see it. There was a difference. I made a video about it. I'm going to make a new page here that will have that video and the explanation of what happened back then. But to some degree, what's happened then with the electronic cigarettes is happening now here with the Zyn and the pouch products because they didn't know how dangerous, or at that time, how dangerous electronic cigarettes were. People were using it with the idea, oh, this is a safe product. This is helping them quit smoking, a dangerous product. And people who were just starting to use this as their first device, they weren't smokers, they just started with electronic cigarettes. They didn't have on their side the understanding of how dangerous this product might be down the road. See, cigarette smokers knew. They knew it was killing them. It was causing them a whole lot of social problems. It was causing a whole lot of issues that made their lives really unmanageable. People who were coming off electronic cigarettes didn't know what the long-term implications were. And that's an issue that you have here now. You Those who are really here and complaining a lot are the ones who are having direct physical symptoms. It's hurting them. It's causing you problems. And you want out of it because of those problems. Plus, just the problems of having to sustain an addiction. Life sustaining an addiction is not a simple life, but you don't have the longer term fears that, this stuff might be killing me, especially if you're not having any symptoms yet. So that's a different variable. There's another one going on, though, too. I think I'm dealing with a little bit of a younger population here. When I was doing the smoking clinics, the average age of people in those clinics and the average age of people probably on the quit smoking boards, they were in their 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s. We're not seeing that here, I do not believe. I think we're seeing people who are younger, and that's causing a whole different kind of just social issues that are going on. And plus, we're just post-pandemic. The world is kind of a mess on a lot of different fronts. The political issues going on, the separations, the literal wars going on throughout the world. We're under a high stress time. The shooting kind of situations going on in schools, and how this is kind of new stuff. And the mental health problems that have been facing the country and the world over the last, and again, especially around the pandemic and post pandemic, they're big. And there's a lot of mental health issues going around throughout the world right now. And I think Yeah, you're seeing that in a way on people who are getting off this and they're still having anxiety. They're still having, a lot of these problems that you just see news coverage on every day of the toll that the internet is taking, the AI issues that are happening now. You just got so many things, and the amount of time people spend on social media. These are all increasing stress throughout the world. And let's understand something. This stress is hitting people who used to smoke, who do smoke. This stress is hitting people who used to vape, who still vape. This stress is hitting people who use nicotine pouches and still use nicotine pouches. And most important, this stress is affecting people who never used nicotine in their life. This is just ongoing stress in the world. And when you get off the nicotine pouches, you might be finding that all of a sudden you're facing stress and you don't think there's any reason for it because you're off the pouches now. But all this other stuff is still going on. We are facing a mental health crisis throughout the world at this point, and some of you are going to be having symptoms of a mental health crisis just because you're a human being living on this planet right now. So I'm going to make a page with resource materials addressing all this. The one that relates back to what was going on. Again, when I produced the 2016 video on vaping, that was before a lot of these problems. It's pre-pandemic. It's just when the political issues were just getting big, in the United States. So use that as kind of a basis to see. I'm just not making this up for now. This is something that's been ongoing now for many years to build up. And then also, I'm going to attach the resources we have on just mental health issues that people may encounter after they quit using nicotine and why things might be different. And this is especially important to people who are using any kind of mental health medications because the medications you were using were adjusted around your nicotine use. And now that you came off nicotine, you might have been using pretty effective medications that don't work right now. And that's because without the nicotine, you might find that those medications are no longer the right thing for you. And you need to be working with your doctors who prescribed you medications to see if there are changes that have occurred. That means you may need different dosages, you may need different medications. I have materials on all of this kind of stuff, so I'm going to include that on the resource page of this video. Okay, I hope you find these resources helpful. But whatever it is, your life will become simpler and things will be easier to manage when you're off this product and you don't have it complicating all these other issues going on. These other issues are going on. Life is going on without using. But in the long run, you will be able to handle that life better by not having to feed a nicotine addiction every day for the rest of your life, which is what the outcome will be if you don't get off this product and don't get off all nicotine products and don't take up a new product in the future that comes out, because I have no doubt that they will continue to produce products to try to get people hooked, trying to get people relapsed. This is big money to keep you using. Don't waste your money supporting these products, which are hurting you, and down the line, they might be killing you, but they're hurting you now. And the way to stop that hurt is to finally stop delivering nicotine from all sources and never administer nicotine again from any product.